This leads us to our last point here, which is, what do you want your life to look like? We've asked ourselves this question before, right? In the Psychology of Money module, we've spent a lot of time on this. What do you want your life to look like? We need to stop thinking about the end of the rainbow, and we need to bring that to now. We need to start living the life of our dreams right now. It might not be fully the life of our dreams, right? Maybe that's unrealistic right this second. But you can include a lot of aspects. You would be surprised, and maybe you were when you went through that. And if you haven't gone through it, then you need to go through it, okay? It's important. You can include a lot of the aspects of your dream life into your life right now while you work on making that life even more grand and even better. So, what do you want your life to look like? Think about it. Go back to those exercises. What are you doing every day? What do you spend your time on? What time do you wake up in the morning? What time do you go to bed at night? What are the relationships that you have? Who are you with? Where do you live? What is your environment like? What do you eat in the morning? What's the first thing you do when you get up? How do you want to spend your time? What are you eating for lunch? Who are you with? Where are you? These are important. These are important. And we usually don't think about the day-to-day, but it makes it real to us, because there's no dream life where we're just traveling and like, I just want to travel the world and I'm happy. It's like, okay, maybe, but you still have to live every day. So what do you want to do every day, right? Like, travel is very broad. What are you going to do in the morning when you wake up? Like, how do you want to spend your time, hour by hour? Do you know what I mean? You need to think about this in detail. I did this, okay? So I was at Fidelity Investments, and I got to the point there where I thought about what I wanted, and I thought about my trajectory, and I said, I need to leave, okay? I've grown a ton here. I was incredibly thankful. I worked with amazing people. I learned so much. I was so grateful for my experience there, and I have nothing but good to say about that experience. But I had outgrown it. I was ready for the next thing because I needed to get on the trajectory to the life that I wanted to lead. I got headhunted out of there and I went to a small firm. I thought, okay, maybe this is it. And they hired me to build out their planning process. And in the midst of that, really came to really run the company jointly with my partner and really make business decisions, not financial planning decisions, but business decisions. How do we structure our client offering? How do we market effectively? What's our strategy? Mergers, acquisitions, bringing on clients, referrals, really became a business strategy along with financial planning. And so I became a partner in the firm. We ended up growing over 2 years. We tripled in size through strong organic growth, mergers and acquisitions. We tripled in size in about 2 years. Things were going well. As a partner, I was on track for, equity and, major income. And we had an inflection point in the firm. And it was kind of a chance for me to really stop and think about my trajectory and to think about my life that I was living at that time. This was my life. I would wake up early. I would maybe see my kids before they got up. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. And I would drive to an office. Thankfully, it wasn't too far, right? 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, a couple cities away. I would work there all day long. I would get home. My family had eaten dinner. Typically, they'd eaten dinner already. So I came home just with enough time to hurry and eat while my 3 kids are trying to call for my attention and climbing all over me. I would be able to play with them for maybe an hour before we had to get them into bed, and then repeat every day. And the thing that hit me the most was thinking about this over the long term. Day by day, I didn't really think about it. I didn't really notice it. Day by day, though, when I sat down and stopped and I thought about my trajectory and this inflection point, and hey, we're structuring major equity, major compensation, right? Like, we were restructuring things, and my trajectory there was going to be fantastic, okay, financially speaking. And my oldest son was about 7 or 8 at that time. And I looked 10 years ahead, and I realized that he was going to be out of the house. By the time when I really fully realized all of this equity, all of this income, where I had more freedom to do what I wanted, he was likely going to be out of the house, gone, an adult. That terrified me. That absolutely terrified me, that I would miss out on his entire childhood because I was pursuing this goal that was going to bring great financial rewards and great fulfillment to me and help a lot of people. It's not that it was a bad thing, it was a good thing. But I was going to do that and sacrifice all that time with my kids. It hit me like a brick wall. And it's still, when I think about it, it's still, I can still feel that emotion. Like, I can't do that. This is not the trajectory for me. That's too much time wasted. And yeah, at that point, we'd have all the income we wanted to travel. We'd have freedom to do that and all that stuff. Maybe. That's 10 years away. It's a long time. And by that point, he's in college. He can't come travel with us. The other kids are in high school. They got activity. Maybe they can't travel as much, right? So putting off my life for that long became unacceptable. And I said, I need to figure out a way to do it now. The other thing was that my wife, she had sacrificed her own ambitions for me to follow my own ambitions. And she, we started a family, we had 3 kids, and she had always dreamed of becoming a nurse. She always wanted to go to nursing school and do that. But because we started having kids, she opted to stay home. She left school and she stayed home to raise our family, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And that was a decision she made. And she was happy with that. It was the right decision for us. At the same time, because of my own ambitions, it took so much time. She didn't have the time to pursue her ambitions, her own goals individually. And we'd always dreamed of her maybe going back to nursing school at some point when it made sense, when we could allow the freedom with my job. And that was another piece. I looked at the trajectory and I said, there is no way she is going to nursing school. There's zero way. There's no time. And what are we going to do with the kids? She's like, yeah, we need to raise the kids. I don't want to put them in daycare. Anybody can choose what is right for them, right? But for us, for her, she said, I'm not going to go to nursing school if it means that the kids are going to be raised by somebody else. Okay, that was just her own feeling. And, I was like, okay, that's fair. That's fair, right? Some people doing it works great. Okay, so zero judgment. This is for us. So said, okay, well then I guess we're going to have to wait a long time. Maybe when the kids are in school, when they're all grown up and they're all in school, then you can go back to nursing school. We kept putting it off, and putting it off, and putting it off, and putting it off. And I realized as a husband, I could not in good conscience continue to ask her to sacrifice and put it off longer. She had given up everything so I could pursue all of my crazy paths through Arabic and then finances and all this stuff, pursue whatever path I felt best for me. And I was not giving her the space to do the same. And that second realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I realized I could not continue. Okay, hey, maybe if I stay on this path, maybe in 10 years, then you'll be able to go do it. I was like, how can I make her wait 10 more years to pursue her own goals? It became very clear that it was unfair. The trajectory I was on was unfair to my wife and my kids. And so those were the 2 realizations that led me to say, okay, I need to create a business. This is the only solution that I could think of. Okay. Because back then we didn't have a pandemic and not everybody was working from home and all that stuff. Maybe that solution would have worked just fine. I don't know. But for me, the only solution I could think about was I need to figure out a business to start that can provide the income we need so that my wife can go back to nursing school full time and I can take care of the kids. That was it. And not just take care of them, but be with them, right? Like spend time with them, like be with them during their childhood so they don't grow up and like we're strangers, right? Like I want to spend time with them. And I wanted my wife to go to nursing school. And so I needed to create a business that had a ton of flexibility, obviously income potential, and one that I could do in relatively little time because I was going to be dedicating so much time to being with the kids so my wife could pursue her goals. That was it. That was my goal. I did not dream of becoming ultra wealthy. It became unimportant all of a sudden. All this wealth for what? It doesn't matter. I don't care anymore because I need the lifestyle. I need the flexibility so that my wife can pursue her goals and so I can spend time with her and my kids, much more time than I was spending currently. That was it. That was the lifestyle I wanted. That's what I wanted to create. And it was like, what's the minimum amount I can do? What's the minimum amount of money we can earn so that we can achieve these goals? And afterwards, we'll figure it out, you know. But I did not think about scaling. I didn't think about anything else. Nothing else was important. I did not start a business for money. I started it for those reasons primarily. So you have to think about, what do you want your life to look like? Okay. You could easily start a business that all of a sudden has you working 60 hours a week or 80 hours a week. Obviously, that's not going to jive with me and my desired lifestyle. I want to see my kids and my family more, not less. I needed more time, not less time. So that drastically changed the type of business that I was going to start and the way that I structured the business. It was all going to be completely different. I wasn't going to go for fast and hard and high growth and tons of income and tons of enterprise value in this business. That wasn't what I wanted. That would lead me to working way too much. Even if we grew and earned a ton of money, great, but that wasn't my goal, right? Do you see what I'm saying here? You have to understand, what do you want your life to look like, and make sure you structure a business to complement your life, not the other way around. Not having your life complement your business. Your life adapt around your business. You have to decide what your life is and then create a business that adapts to that life. Okay? If you want high growth and 60-hour weeks, that's totally fine. Then go for it. But know what business you want and know what your life is going to look like. And maybe sometimes it's in the short term, right? Like 2 or 3 years, I'm going to push through this and be on the other side. Great. I don't care what it looks like for you. You just decide what you want it to look like and make sure you're structuring a business in a way that you can live the life you want to live. Okay. So mindset, your why, and what do you want your life to look like in detail, those are incredibly important. Those are the hardest part of starting a business. Now we're going to get into some of the other details about actual mechanics and nitty-gritty details about, how do you structure it? All of those details we're going to talk about. But you got to spend time here and you got to really, really think about it. And you have to know the answers to these 3 considerations. Like, you have to know, because this is what's going to drive your success in the business world. And the rest will figure itself out. The rest will sort itself out. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this incredibly important series of videos. Let's dive into some more specifics around business.
We're not chasing wealth. We're designing freedom.